Small Business Sunday isn't going anywhere, and we are back. Crypnotics YouTube channel segment for Small Business Sunday is so pleased to have Olivia Williams of Many Mumbling Mice with us. I met her personally at a convention, and it was just a matter of time before I had her on because I love her product so much, and that's what we're going to get into today. Hi, Olivia.
Hey.
So you own Many Mumbling Mice. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Many Mumbling Mice is a 100% soy wax candle business. I also sell wax melts, home decor, apothecary like soaps and stuff seasonally. And I also offer candle classes, candle parties, and workshops too.
Wow, so you do it all.
I try. And the biggest thing is we keep the future lit by giving back to the community and Mother Nature as well.
Wow. So I met you at the Spookala convention in Ocala, Florida, and that was so much fun. It was a horror convention. I have to say that word very carefully. It was a horror convention. And I was so surprised to see a merchant like you. Your booth was like catty corner from mine. And I love just your energy, your vibrance, and the way you just interacted with people. And you also, as I recall, had a very special candle to give to a speaker there that day.
Yeah, I actually was like, hey, like I made a candle that was called like Pumpkinhead Nut Bread. And then I had an interactive story candle, which was really popular that I originally wanted to give to Naomi Grossman, which was Pepper from American Horror Story. And I went to go save that one. And right when I went to go put it away, somebody asked for it. So I gave her the Pumpkinhead Nut Bread, which she ended up loving from what I understood. Unless she was being nice, I don't know. But yeah, that was really cool times. I'm super excited for like the future, like especially not just like Ocala specific ones, but like holiday like conventions and stuff, because that was a first time for me. I'd never done a convention.
Mine too. Not as a vendor anyway. I'd been to conventions, but never as a vendor. And that was so much fun. And I think that that was a really great learning experience. Just, you know, as a small business owner and just finding like different avenues to reach an audience, your customer base.
Yes, I made a lot of friends just through that, especially because like I'm still new to the Ocala area. So it was kind of like a perfect like kind of like welcome into the area, because even people who didn't buy, I ended up making a really great community, which is always more important to me. Because yes, small business is all about like making money and like surviving and stuff like that. But like if you don't have like the support behind you, none of that matters, at least to me, at least.
I'd have to agree. I loved being at that convention. And as a small business owner myself, you know, one that does make products, does retail, things like that. How do you go about finding events?
So when I first started, it was a lot of networking. So I made friends with people. I went to markets as a customer. And as I got more comfortable, like going to specific markets and stuff, I would ask some of the vendors, hey, how did you get into this? And I'm like an anxious extrovert. Like I'm very outgoing and stuff. But when it comes to like business or like feeling like an adult, that's where I kind of get nervous and I get like imposter syndrome. So I kind of lurk around for a while and I network so I'm not as nervous when that time comes. I also get very lucky and I have people reach out to me too, like, hey, we're having a market and we've heard great things about you. But that came with a little bit more time and more experience doing markets and stuff. And then just looking at hashtags online, I know they're kind of like dead now, but I did a lot of hashtag searching with like my city and like market. So like Ocala markets or Ocala pop-ups. And that's how I was able to sign up for a bunch of them that in turn would either accept or deny me.
Right. You did mention that you do certain holiday events and products.
Yeah, so right now I'm working on my August through, let's be honest, my whole fall collection, because today is, for me on August 1st, is
August
fall.
1st. It is the first day of fall. That's why I've got the orange lipstick, the pumpkins and witch hats. And
Yeah. I'm really big on that. So like I'm actually just finishing cool down systems for my candles right now. So like I just did a bunch of pumpkin things, a bunch of like rosemary and like just like outdoorsy scents and like comfort scents. And that's really cool. And then like in the winter and stuff, which I don't hate Christmas, but I love Halloween. I'll do like my other ones and stuff. But
well, being someone who does have more of a spooky theme to her products, I did have a lot of fun making my Krampus candles.
I remember. I don't remember how many you brought versus sold, but I remember just like all your stuff just being like, and that was the thing too, is like you being a candle maker, we didn't have the same amount of competition in the sense of like having to fight for people to come to our booth. Like I've noticed in the candle community and just like in small business, when you're kind of starting out and stuff, it's kind of like a dog eat dog world. People are afraid to make friends with like businesses because they're afraid they're going to lose competition. And I've never been that way.
We also have very different demographics.
Exactly. And that's what made me like also really excited. I've never been like worried to be like sitting next to another candle maker or like being near another candle maker, because like to me at the end of the day we all had to learn something, and you can sell the same things and that doesn't mean anything because it could be a different person. Somebody could just want to buy your stuff because you have cool hair, and like that's like, you know, a far-fetched example, but like
at Spookala I did.
Yeah.
Red fading into orange, fading into yellow at the bottom, like an ombre. And I did that to kind of draw attention to my table, and it worked. People stopped to compliment my hair, and they stuck around to look at my stuff.
And like for me though, it was like I didn't do that. I juggled. I think one day I was just dancing around because I was alone, and I was like, I'm kind of bored, and I brought my music and stuff without, you know, I checked on my other vendors to say, hey, like if this is too loud, like let me know. They didn't even hear it.
And I'll dance with you next time.
Yeah, I just be myself, and I think that people will come up to me, and if they don't, then they're not my people.
I really haven't felt competition with other people who do similar things, because you find the differences, and when you know your demographic, at least in my experience, there is no competition. And I love seeing my friends succeed. Like I was cheering for you. I was super happy to watch your table at Spookala, and it was so sweet when you even gave me that Ohana candle.
Oh, yeah.
That I still haven't burned, because I open it and I sniff it, and it feels so wrong to burn it, but I could always buy another one.
Yeah, and some people, they don't want to burn it either. And I've learned that some of my customers and clients, they'll put the candle in the shower and close the door so the steam opens it up and expands the scent, but it doesn't melt it. It just makes it a little sweaty, and they dap it off with a paper towel because they're like, no, like I want the crystals to stay exactly in that spot, in the heart, or the flower is so cute. But
what
like,
I do is I add like a few drops of essential oil like behind where the shower water hits, and then it just gives me a similar effect. Oh my God, doing that with like wintergreen and eucalyptus is amazing when you're sick. It really opens up the nasal passages.
Yes, and I'm a sucker for rosemary sage essential oil. Like,
yes. Also great in Italian cooking. So we'll just throw in some garlic to the next candle, and then it'll be great.
Oh my God, like that company at Spookala that had like the roadkill in the hospital and stuff.
Yes.
Next one is garlic, like vampire's enemy or something.
I thought, because my son said, Mom, you need to make a garlic bread candle. I'm like, excuse me? He's like, to ward off vampires. I'm like, oh, okay.
We'll keep that in the notebook.
So as I recall, as you and I were kind of talking and getting to know each other, you had kind of an interesting story about how you dealt with a car accident, as I recall.
Yeah. So I was in a horrible car accident. Like, long story short, like, lost a bunch of weight, had a broken foot, like kind of lost like feeling in my fingers and stuff, and just kind of like some long lasting things that like I'll regret when I'm 80 now. Like, just not regret. I didn't make the choice to get in an accident, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be like, my fingers one day. And that was really life changing. It put a big stop in my business for like 2 months. And to me, I have no time depth. So like 5 minutes is like too long to like not think about my business. So like I remember just like trying to make candles and just like crying and crying. And I was like, I can't do this. This is it. I'm going to have to quit. Like this, because of this stupid thing. I had a lot of emotions. I had a lot of ups and downs. I just moved to the area too. And it was just a lot of things all at once. I was homesick. I was lonely. I lived 2 hours away from my hometown. So it's like nobody really came to visit me. And like, whatever, we're adults. I understand that, but it sucked, you know? And I didn't have any markets in the area yet. And they were all still back at home. So my boyfriend, thankfully, was very helpful during that time. And it kind of made me remember, like, this is what I'm here for. And, I kind of, you know, overcame things, went to therapy, still go to therapy, and I'm back driving again. And I'm able to bring myself to these markets. That was probably the first market I did in the area after the accident, was with the US Bucala. And that's why it was such a big deal for me to like record everything. I was super emotional. I remember you being emotional at the end and stuff too. And like, it's just one of those things, like, I didn't think I'd make it this far. And it was almost like finally overcoming the mountain and you're at the top or something. I never thought like I'd go through all these ups and downs, and it was just really life changing. Like, I do not think if past me saw me now, I would think that's me. Like, I would be like, who is that? That's not me, because I was just a whole different person back then. So it's come a long way. I try to inspire people with that too, without like going like too sob story. I hate sob stories. But like, it was kind of one of those things where it's like, hey, like, I could have had it worse, but I did have it bad. And, you know, it's one of those things where if you're at rock bottom, you can only go up. And you just kind of have to keep trucking, essentially. And it's one of those things where it's like, only you can do that for yourself. And now it's something that I make sure that my followers understand, and my customers too, like just keeping good with your mental health, and, you know, health before wealth, and just stuff like that. And that all ties into like being a lit kid, which is what I call my customers.
So how did you manage the transition from working for someone else to working for yourself?
I didn't handle it well. I didn't handle it how you're supposed to. They say you're supposed to save up all this money.
Like, there's a way you're supposed to do this?
That's what people say. They're supposed to be like, oh, you save so much money in case something goes bad. I didn't do any of that. I kind of create my own plan unless I'm super nervous, and then I invest into research and stuff. But if I'm the type of person that takes a little too long on something, I won't do it at all. And so I kind of had to make the jump and just be like, okay, this is it. It's happening next week. Like, that's it. Bye-bye. Like, and that's really what happened. I was really tired of my job. I remember just grudging every time I did anything. And I'm not that type of person. Like, yeah, we all don't want to work, but I'm not the type of person to be like a Debbie Downer at work either. It's just not me. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to quit. And I don't have time to get another job because of all the markets and everything. And nobody wants to hire somebody who has something going for them, where their availability is very limited and stuff. So I was like, well, crap, guess we're going to have to go in full force. And I just went crazy booking a bunch of markets. And that's where I'm at now. It's scary sometimes because you're relying on other people. And if you like to control things in the sense of like how your life goes, you have to throw that out the window with being a small business owner.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you can say the wrong thing, or you can make a product that somebody just doesn't like, or right now, inflation is really affecting everybody, not just me. And when you sell candles, it's not considered a necessity. So it's like, it's not like clothes where even if there's inflation and stuff, you still have to buy clothes for back to school and stuff like that. Whereas a candle is more like a gift item and stuff. So I had to learn a lot of like shifting with my groups. So like I am going to be planning on like doing merch one year, or like I did soaps this summer because it was a little more popular and usable. And I follow what my customers want versus 100% just what I want, which is something I had to learn the hard way.
So tell me a little bit more about the products that you carry.
Yeah, so all my candles have some sort of artsy element to them. It wouldn't be a Many Mumbling Mice candle or my candle without like some biodegradable glitters or crystals or these wax melts that make like different shapes.
Crystals and bright colors and alliteration.
Yes, and just silly names and stuff that just get people laughing. I love custom blended scents too. I know that I want to be different and I want to stand out and I want memories to be evoked. And when I first started, it was kind of like a memory candle. I would do things based off of my stories, but then I also started getting to know all these cool people and taking their recommendations and making their stories come back to life. Like I've made candles for people whose grandfathers have passed away and it smells like their cologne. But then at the same time, I've made a birthday cupcake that's life size, cupcake size, because somebody didn't want to blow out their candle on top of a cake during COVID. And it's like, who else but me wants to do that? Like, there's other people out there, but it's never, like, it's always going to be something different. Like, I can see somebody making a candle cupcake, but it won't be my candle cupcake because I throw all these different things in there. I'm doing the custom scents, I'm adding crystals and stuff like that. And it also takes care of Mother Nature and giving back to the community, which is something I really like harp on, is something is really important.
I love that though. I also love just in general how passionate you are about not only running your business, but everything else that comes with it and the other people that are involved in that process. So I'm definitely curious. Do you have any promotions going on right now?
Yeah, so I'm so sorry. One second. Okay, he's good. I don't know if you want to ask your question again and then I'll go back, or you want me to just repeat?
Do you have any promotions going on right now for Many Mumbling Mice?
Yeah, so right now I'm going to have my 16-ounce candles. They're going to be going away. Not 100%. I'm going to have it like, I'll still have 16-ounce on hand, but they'll be made to order or for custom orders only. So to get rid of some of the ones that I have in inventory, we'll have a 20% off. And then anybody who joins my newsletter gets a discount, and they'll also see any sales throughout the month.
Hold up. You have a newsletter?
I do. It's called the Lit Kids Club. And it's a monthly newsletter that sometimes gets sent out twice a month. So it's either bi-monthly or monthly, usually monthly. I'm very lazy. And it tells you just like all the markets, any market sales. When you first sign up, you get 20% off. You get all these updates and all these exclusive things. Like when I sell limited time things, you as a Lit Kid member can order it even when it's sold out, which is big for holiday time because people don't think to get things, or they think that it's not going to sell out, or they have to wait till payday or something. And just something as signing up for an email that you're getting once a month that I'm not going to like harass you with is a very simple option. And you can still mute the email so you don't have to see it physically. You can just go into a folder too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Wow. I love all these creative things that you're doing with your company. And honestly, your entire attitude about the whole thing is really inspiring. I can tell that inspiration is really important to you.
Yes.
I love all of it. So what are some of the goals that you have for the future of your company, for that growth?
So I get asked this a lot, and I kind of just wing things. And it's one of those things too that like people say you should have like a plan, like a 1-year plan, a 5-year
No, no,
plan.
no, no, no. I
I
wing it
don't.
like eyeliner.
And it's just exactly like I wing it. And like in the future, like right now, it's little things. Like I just did a rebranding a couple of months ago. So they're like small goals to me compared to like maybe what somebody would consider goals, but like I want to redo my booth layout. And like I want to have a gumball machine with wax melt samples in it. And I want to do little things like that.
I have a gumball machine, like a mini one.
Yeah. And I want to do wax melt samples in it. And like if I do the quarters, then the quarters will go to like charity or something. But if it's a free spin one, I'm just gonna let people do it when they like order so much, or if they just want to try something out. But like little things like that, I want to upgrade my equipment because it's the same equipment I've had for the past 3 years since I started. And I'm getting to a point where, yes, I'm making small batch candles, but I only have 2 pitchers, so I can only make 2 batches at a time of different scents. And in the holiday season last year, that was a horrible idea. I needed to make like 6 at a time because I have the space for the tables and making these candles and stuff. But if you only have 2 cups, you can only make 2 scents, or 2 pitchers at least. And so that's kind of like my small goals. It's just kind of like upgrading things and kind of reflecting on what needs to be better without being impulsive, because that is another thing about being a small business is I am very impulsive, but I have to remember that this is my livelihood, or it's, something that I have to take a little bit more seriously, because taxes are scary, being negative is scary, and you don't want to upset anybody at the end of the day. Like, at least I don't. If I can help it.
I don't know. Sometimes that makes things a little more zesty.
Yeah, a little anger rage.
Oh wow. Oh my God. That was no, you kind of hit it on the head. And talking about, the way you manage your business, the way you give back to the community, that reminds me, we have a plug for Punk Rock Saves Lives, which is a nonprofit organization that does a lot for the community, especially in punk circles. They really reach out to people who are having mental health difficulties. At Lollapalooza, they were distributing pregnancy tests, Narcan, fentanyl test strips. What else was it? GHB test coasters. So there were a lot of things that they were trying to do to help the community and just get a lot of people some of the help that they need. And they have outreach for mental health. They have a group on Facebook, Punk Rock Saves Lives Mental Health, where people can kind of talk about their problems. And things like that are just huge. Because I do a lot of promotion and I work closely with my local music industry, it's really important to me that things like that are put on the forefront, that there's awareness. I think my neighbor is mowing his lawn. How rude. How dare he?
How dare his grass grow to where he needs to cut it?
Oh my God. No. But Punk Rock Saves Lives is a huge part of what I'm aiming to help with. And if you see me at an event, I will have a specific display board of products that proceeds are going to Punk Rock Saves Lives. So I'll have a link in the description where you can find them. They're doing a lot of great things. They travel all over the country putting on benefits, and you'll find their booth at different shows. So definitely check them out, get involved, and come see me at an event and, help make a difference. And if you haven't already, you need to check out Many Mumbling Mice. I will also have a link in the description. She has fantastic things on her Facebook page. I have browsed the site. I love what she's offering. I'm going to be making a purchase pretty soon, and you don't want to miss out on that 20% off 16-ounce promo. I'm here to help lift up other small business owners. We're all in this together, and we don't need to be feeling like each other's competition. I want everyone to succeed, And one of those people is Olivia. So please check out the links in the description and let's do some of this shit together. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to let viewers know before we let you go?
Other than just thank you so much for having me, and just like I'm very grateful for all the support that I have with my following and like friends and family like you. And it's just, I don't know, I never thought I'd get this far, so I've never planned like my Oscar Academy Award speech. But other than that, thank you for having me. That's always a really big one for me.
I will be seeing you in about 6 weeks at Ocala Comic Con, and I'm so stoked. Granted, there's no guarantee that our booths will be as close as they were last time, but
we'll make it work.
We'll make it work. You know that you won't be able to get rid of me so easily.
Exactly. We'll find each other.
Of course. Thank you so much for tuning into Small Business Sunday. We will, of course, have more things coming for you, new bands to promote, new small businesses to promote. So please follow Crypnotic on Facebook and Instagram. We also have our TikTok where you can find snippets of these interviews if you're wondering which one maybe you want to tune into. So let's go ahead and make a difference together. Till next time, guys.